Hello, and welcome back to Dan's Card Corner. Here we have two extremely shiny unopened packs of Pepsi Cola trading cards, the Collector's Series. These are 8-card packs from Dart. Let's see the year on these. 1994 it looks like. Collect all 100 different cards that capture Pepsi's artistic and collectible heritage. Look for the making of Pepsi randomly inserted chromium subset cards. Odds of finding a chromium subset card are 1 in 12 packs. So perhaps, since we have 2 packs of these, well, that's 2 in 24% chance. Well, there's a reason I don't teach math. Anyway. We could sit here all day doing Scott Steiner math, or we could just open these up and see what's inside. So let's do that. We'll start with the one on top, the ask for Pepsi Cola Ice Cold Delicious ad. This looks like it's from maybe 1930s or 40s era advertisement. Anyway, let's see what these are like. So the top of that cracked open pretty easy. Do one of these. They have full color backs, it looks like. Alright, so we have kind of a pin-up style from probably the 50s, well, probably 40s, I'm guessing. It might say on the back. Don't forget the Pepsi Cola, big bottle. That's a little suggestive, isn't it? So these are, I was going to say these are nice thick cards, but I think I actually had 2 there. So yeah, 40s. I was kind of right. The introduction to glamour. The 1940s brought the end of the Depression, and Pepsi once again responded to the times by introducing glamour in its advertisements. This ad was created by pin-up artist George Petty, who was famous for his elegant, sophisticated style. Printed in Canada. All right. So here we have Donald M. Kendall, who joined Pepsi Cola in 1947 as a fountain syrup salesman. He became president of the Pepsi Cola Company in 1963. In 1965, he engineered the merger between Pepsi Cola and Frito-Lay, which formed PepsiCo. And I guess this is his rookie card. So here's another. This looks pretty Depression era, I'm guessing. You know, it's not a Norman Rockwell painting, but it's definitely in his style. Birthday Party. It's a great American custom. This is from a series of 12 cardboard signs produced by the Pepsi Cola Company in 1947. Oh, so post-Depression. The series featured families enjoying Pepsi Cola all year round. The advertisement was titled The Birthday Party. Also, Nick Cave's band Before the Bad Seeds. Here we have kind of a comic style thing. All of a sudden, I think I've solved the mystery of what happened to Floto. I don't know whether you're a genius or just lucky. Aha, just as I thought. I'm beginning to follow you. Dogs in work. The Collector's Series, they all say Collector Series. Overwhelming popularity. Pepsi and Pete were so popular that actors were hired to portray them at supermarket openings and civic affairs. Coupons in 6-pack cartons offered drinking glasses. They may or may not have been free, I guess. Featuring the cops, Pepsi and Pete even appeared on the big screen in a 60-second cartoon theater spot. And here we have 1954. It's right on the calendar there. Refreshes without filling. The light refreshment slogan was used by Pepsi from the years 1954 to 59. This was, I guess, kind of the last gasp, maybe, of them trying to promote these as, you know, healthy drinks. This ad is typical to most light refreshment advertisements, which featured active, slender models enjoying the new lighter taste of Pepsi. So then we have, this looks probably 40s era, just based on the hairstyle. Good value, good taste. In 1943, nailed it. This 1943 cardboard stand-up advertisement, I bet that's worth a lot of money to have a real one now. The 5-cent bottle is prominently displayed, but the focus is no longer just on value. The attractive woman posed holding the bottle is part of Pepsi's shift in image to focus on the enjoyment of the drink. It was an old Seinfeld stand-up. I think it was on the show too, but about, you know, and this would have been the 90s era soda commercials where people are running, jumping, flying through the air, and I'm just sitting on the couch with the potato chip crumbs all over my chest, holding the can, saying, maybe I'm doing it wrong. So here we have the picnic. This looks like an old one. Probably early 20th century. Well, it does have an airplane, so post 1910s anyway, but maybe 20s or 30s? Well, let's find out. A glass Pepsi Cola will make you scintillate. This ad was designed by Biggs Young Shonen Company in New York City. This is the first time a professional ad agency was used to create a thematic ad campaign for Pepsi Cola. So it doesn't actually say the year for it. Let's see. I'm guessing maybe 20s based on the hair again. No, that's a phone number, not a year. All right, so last one in the first pack. So this is definitely old. As word spread about the great taste of Pepsi Cola, Bradham began to franchise territories throughout the Southeast. Now, this is only the second card in the set. Soon there were over 280 franchise bottlers. Early bottlers used horse-drawn wagons to deliver Pepsi to soda fountains and country stores. Yeah, this definitely looks late 19th, early 20th century. All right, so pack number 2. Let's see what's in here. All right, so let's see what's going on here. Historic moment. This famous 1959 photograph shows Vice President Nixon. So, well, there you go. And Soviet Premier Khrushchev. Again, there you go. Drinking Pepsi at the American National Exhibit in Moscow. This historic moment was recorded by photographers around the world. I almost want to say I may have used this photo in one of my 20th century history classes. I'll have to go back to my old PowerPoints, but yeah, I might have actually used that, I'm not sure. Platter Party, this definitely looks, I would say early 60s maybe. Maybe late 50s, probably 60s, I'm thinking. By the end of the 40s, well, maybe not. By the end of the 1940s, Pepsi's 12 ounces for a nickel campaign had given way to ads specifically targeted to particular audiences. This cutout cardboard by Whitney Darrow Jr. is clearly geared towards the teenager. So yeah, going to the youth market, paving the way for OK Cola and such drinks as that. Surge, certainly. It was, I think OK Cola, I think that was made by Pepsi. Was Surge made by Pepsi too? That I'm not sure of offhand. So here we have another Pepsi and Pete comic. There's Floto, 100% American. Here's your pooch, Miss Oblivion, but she's in the army now. Floto, my heroine, you're signed up. Over the years, Pepsi and Pete aided the WAAC, the Navy, and the Army. Pepsi and Pete also swam up Niagara Falls, yes, up Niagara Falls, and performed a number of rescues from sharks, hot air balloons, and sinking ferries. In many strips, their faithful servant Waldo was on the spot with a much-needed Pepsi Cola. So here's another kind of Rockwell style. This picture from a 1954 calendar targeted the calorie-conscious soda drinker. The text reads, "Refreshes without filling." The girls featured here are more slender than the buxom models used in Pepsi's 1940s ad, reflecting the country's changing modern ideal. So, there's a wartime themed ad there. That's what I call shrewd merchandising. This magazine ad by Robert Day ran prominently in Time magazine. Day was an Day was an editorial cartoonist popular during the 1940s. Many of his ads for Pepsi's for Pepsi, looked so much like editorial cartoons that their reader had to look closely to tell they were advertisements. So here's another old one, early 20th century here, maybe up to the early 20s. This 1908 newspaper advertisement is the first time Pepsi used a celebrity to endorse the delicious taste of Pepsi Cola. Here, race car driver Barney Oldfield proclaims Pepsi to be first rate and a fine bracer before the race. There's kind of a cool Pepsi urn of some sort. This porcelain dispenser is typical of those used at soda fountains in the early 1900s. A pull on the handle dispensed 1 ounce of syrup concentrate into a glass. 5 ounces of soda water were then stirred into the syrup to produce a 6-ounce glass of Pepsi. Convenient and attractive. And Pepsi, more bounce to the ounce. Yeah. In the 1950s, Pepsi made major investments in vending machines. These silent salesmen were featured in advertisements of the period. This ad clearly targeted to the 1950s teenager with the slogan, get in on the fun, go along with the guy. Peer pressure. Hooray for conformity. So, yeah, these were pretty fun, kind of fun to look at, how advertisements changed over the years. I was way off on the year for that one. Although, in retrospect, it makes sense. But yeah, cool graphics, cool advertising history. Yeah, pretty cool cards. As far as the actual card quality, they are thick cardboard, very sharp corners. Like, if you pick them up wrong, they actually almost hurt your hands. But yeah, pretty cool set. No chromiums, so we missed out on our chance there. But yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll pick up some more of those at some point. Anyway, this has been Dad's Card Corner. We'll see you again. Later.